technically speaking, we're still in summer, and so summer ends on the 23rd of September, but we've started to see a lot of the fall and autumn trends creep into the stores. So I decided to do a trends video on some of the top trends that we shall see in the coming months. So it gives you the opportunity to look through the stuff that you already have. If there are any trends that you want to particularly jump on, but you don't actually have the clothing in order to execute that trend, then you can go out and start buying the items that you're interested in. For my returning viewers and subscribers, thank you for coming back. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Odette and I do weekly fashion and lifestyle videos for the working girl. And on my channel, we discuss everything from affordable lifestyle / fashion all the way to luxury. And today, it's kind of a neutral video. It's neither luxury nor affordable, just because we can see these trends creeping in the luxury space, but as well as the affordable space. So the first trend is bold colors. We've seen this start, I believe, last year. This has continued on this year, and that's going to carry on to the fall. When you typically say fall colors, you're thinking about your dark reds, your dark greens, maybe a bit of your jewel colors as well. So that's your emerald greens, sometimes neutral. So you could do white as well, particularly when you start thinking about winter whites. You don't really think your bold colors, because even if you wanted to play around with colors, it's usually in the darker range of things instead of bold. But what we're doing this year is, because everyone is loving the bold colors and we're doing an amazing job at styling our outfits, and it's just refreshing and it's just lovely, the fashion houses decided to keep that in play as well. So we can definitely expect to see a lot of bold colors. If during the spring, summertime, you were already using a lot of bold colors, and you might find that you have nothing to change from that, you can chuck on a blazer or a trench coat or any one of these items just to help you keep you warm while still wearing the bold color that you love. So bold colors are still going to be in. If you have them already in your wardrobe, don't bother changing it out, because you can still have very much use for them during this period. So the next trend is one that I am not a fan of at all. I have never liked it. It always comes and goes back every couple of years, and that's the cowboy inspired fashion trend. When we talk about cowboy inspired, we're talking about the boots. I think the boots are kind of that pointy boots, and at the top of the boots you have almost like this V style design, and sometimes you have embroidery, or what looks like could be an embroidery. I mean, sometimes it could be paint, but sometimes it could be embroidery as well around the boots. That is typically a cowboy style boot. You also have fringe, a lot of fringe on your jackets, especially if you have your suede jackets and you have fringing on it. You could also have leather jackets as well, or moto style jackets, or biker chick style jackets. That all falls under the realm of cowboy trends. So we can definitely expect to see a lot of that. People are already buying these items. We're already seeing people style them on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. If this is a trend that you kind of want to dabble in, but you don't want to go all the way in, then I would definitely recommend considering buy a fringe bag or a fringe skirt, because it's kind of you touching on it, but you're not going crazy for it. I do own a fringe mini skirt that I picked up from Mango during the summer. I don't believe they still have it. If they do, I would link it. Otherwise, I would link something similar. But this is a cool way in which you can actually wear this trend, but not be too obvious that this is what you're trying to do, in case you feel like the alternatives, which is the cowboy boots or the huge fringing on your jacket, is a bit too much for you. This is a good way to dabble in it. Another trend, which I am not sure how I feel about it yet, they're maxi skirts and dresses. So typically I do love my mini skirts, my mid-length skirts as well, but I don't know if I've ever really been into maxi dresses. I do own some maxi dresses that I typically have for some, but again, I don't see myself wearing it during the colder months. But this is definitely a trend that we've seen on the runways, on the catwalks, etc. I've definitely seen them on the streets. A lot of people love wearing them, and depending on how you style it, it can work for you. But if this is a trend that interests you, or you think it would be flattering on your figure and your height as well, then definitely go for it. There are a lot of examples on how you can wear it more casually and more formally. Again, they're not my style, so I wouldn't be buying into it. So the next trend is a trend that I think I may partake in, but I'm not entirely sure, is the chunky heels trend. So when this started, it started with Valentino and Versace. I'm not sure who came out with it first. I think it might have been Versace that came out with their whole clown shoes or chunky heels, platform heel shoes. I'm not sure what you call it, but I'm pretty sure they were the ones who started it, and Valentino took it over. But the Valentino one, I think, is more popular. So you see more people wearing the Valentino styled ones, and I think the reason for that is because that's a lot more wearable, and it probably looks a little bit more flattering than the Versace one, because it has the huge front that just looks like a mouth that wants to swallow your feet or something. So we're going to see that continue on to this autumn season, but instead of it being your typical pumps that you get or sandals, you're going to see this being displayed in the boot form, especially ankle boots. I've also seen tall boots, but I've seen mostly in ankle boots. And I think this is something that I may enjoy a little bit, or I may use my own version of. And I only say that because I do own almost, it's not the same thing because it's missing like the huge platform at the front, but you can see that the heel is chunky in its own right. So this is definitely a way to give a nod to that trend. I've had this for many years, by the way, and I believe I bought it from the brand Office. So I've had it for a while and I absolutely love it. I don't know if I'm actually going to be buying one that has a platform. I may or may not buy it, but again, you don't have to buy exactly the same design because I think it's not for everyone, especially that huge platform. I think if you don't know how to walk in heels very well, you run the risk of falling down. There are alternatives as well that has some type of semi-platform, nothing too high up like the Valentino or the Versace one. So that's also a good way to pay homage to that trend. So definitely a trend that I can see myself buying into. Another trend that we see is generally the cutout trend, but I would specify cutout in knitwear because I've been seeing variations of that throughout the summer, but it would also play out throughout autumn because knitwear is a staple for the autumn season. This trend has been happening, I want to say, for the past 2 years because I do own a couple of knitwear that already have some type of cutout, but I think this year the cutout trend has gone to a different level where you see cutouts in the middle, you see cutouts to the side, like there's cutouts everywhere basically, and you're almost naked. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. There's ways you can play into the cutout trend without being overly exposed, for lack of a better word, because I think the exposure is too much. It's not my personal style, but I do like the trend. I do own a few cutout knitwear myself, and I do plan to add more to it, but just different styles. Another trend that's going to be big this year, and I think it has been big even during the spring, summer, and we always see a comeback of it every year, is leather. So this leather that we're seeing is not just leather inspired by the cowboy trend, but it's leather in its own right. We see corset leather, we see the huge belts that have the huge leather belts. There's one from Dior that I've been seeing pop up on my phone all the time, like in ads, etc., and I absolutely love it, but it's just too pricey. It's a bit of the cutout trend, but it's also a bit of the leather trend as well. I mean, what else would you have it in? But yeah, we see a lot of leather coming back in. We see that in leather blazers, obviously leather trousers are the standards, but we'd also see leather corsets, leather tops, different forms of leather, which I think is just ideal for this season. Also, what we have seen is not just the leather, but leather come out in different colors because we are definitely used to black leather. That's standard for us, but we are seeing a lot of the stores release leather in different colors as well. So that's also to play a little bit to the color trend, but it's also to soften the leather a little bit because again, when you think of black leather, it's kind of hardcore, biker chick type of vibe. But when you start seeing it in like white leather or pink leather, brown, it's a little bit softer and to a lot of people palatable. To all the people who like feminine stuff, definitely more wearable. Another trend that's coming into play, and this one I do like, is everything oversized. So oversized trousers, oversized blazers. I mean, the oversized blazer trend has been happening, at least in the UK. A lot of these influencers here do love their oversized blazers. Some of them only live in oversized blazers. I actually think that a lot of this oversized trend, not to toot the UK's horn, but I really do believe that the oversized trend started here in the UK many years ago. I'm talking about when Instagram wasn't really a thing. I would see a lot of the girls on YouTube wearing oversized blazers and they just love it, especially the petite girls. I don't know if it started by accident, but it was definitely a trend. So that's something that's coming back. But it's not only stopping in the blazers. We see it in the tailored trousers, and we also see it in knitwear stuff. And that's the one that I find particularly interesting. The oversized cardigans, the oversized jumpers is a trend that I can see myself jumping on, especially the cardigan. There was one that Rihanna wore recently and I thought that one was quite nice. But again, I would probably most likely wear it with leggings or wear it with tights rather than wear it with a pair of trousers, which I think is the way Rihanna styled hers. So the oversized cardigan is something that I would definitely be on the lookout for because I think that's a really cool and comfy way to dress. Does this look like a beehive to you? Trying to make it go down. So the next trend is the sequins trend. For the past, I want to say 2 years, we've been seeing a lot of crystals come into play, particularly when you start thinking about the Prada bag. I do own my Prada bag, which I absolutely love. We've been seeing that happen, but I think this year there's going to be a lot more emphasis on sequins rather than crystals. So the crystals are still there, they're not going anywhere, but the sequins are kind of what is changing in this year. And because it's not just the small sequins, it's the massive sequins. There's this black owned brand, I forgot her name, but I'm gonna put her name here and I'll probably put some some pictures from her Instagram page. And I remember when I saw this outfit a couple of weeks ago, I looked at it and I was like, why does she have those massive sequins on it? Why? Like, I was just wondering. I was like, what is this? But then when I was doing my research, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's right on trend. And I actually like the way she has done it for her skirt, because she has a skirt and a trouser version with the big sequins. I prefer the skirt rather than the trouser version, just because I think the skirt is a lot more palatable, a lot more wearable than the trouser version anyways. But I think this is an interesting trend, and you probably have to be in the right place or attend the right events to be able to pull this off. I don't see this as something that people would be able to wear daily. Even with the pink skirt that I think I want to buy, this is not just going to be a regular pink skirt. It would definitely be, oh, I'm going out for an occasion. But sequins is definitely coming back this season, and we're going to see people wear it. But I don't believe that we're going to see a lot of it on the street normally, but I do think, you know, we are still going to experience some of it. And the last trend I want to share with you guys is the sports luxe. The first time I came across this trend was, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. I loved it so much, and it came and it went away, but obviously it's back. And this is probably the easiest trend, or one of the easiest trends for people to adopt. So when you think about sports luxe, it's kind of you incorporating sporty pieces with your regular wardrobe. So typically when people wear sports items, if you're wearing leggings, you would wear like the matching set for the leggings. We typically pair sports items with each other, but with the sports luxe, you're mixing that with non-sporty items. So for example, you can opt to wear a tailored trouser with a hoodie or a sweatshirt and chuck on a blazer on top, or you can wear your leggings with a shirt or a blouse and put a blazer on top with a pair of heels. So you're essentially mix and matching these different items to create a less relaxed outfit and a more of a sports chic type of look. This trend is definitely a trend that any one of us can easily adopt, because we already have bits and pieces required to piece this item together. And if you need any inspiration for how to style this type of trend, there's loads on Pinterest, there's loads on Instagram, there's loads on TikTok. But also, if you're following me on TikTok or Instagram, you would bound to see this at some point, because I'm quite excited about actually putting a Reels video just on this trend alone, because I find it a very fascinating one. So if you've watched to this point, thank you so much for watching. Out of all the trends that I've shared with you, which ones are you looking forward to the most? Which ones do you think you can already start to incorporate in your wardrobe? And which ones do you think are just no, absolutely no, I am not doing that? Let me know down in the comment section and let's have a chat. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you enjoyed the video, then go ahead and give us a like, and also consider subscribing. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that you know every single time that I upload. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.